Hi, I'm Sophie Edwards. You may remember me from such films as the Galai, Transgender Priestesses of Kibali. I had to use the aubergine emoji far too much in making this video, and my god was the audio quality in my early videos terrible. What you might not know is that every voice you've heard in every video I've made has been my own. That includes the voice you see coming out of my mouth when I'm on camera, but it also includes the voice you hear when I'm reading primary sources. Yep, that's me, believe it or not. This video is sponsored by me. I'm a voice feminization coach. If you're a trans woman or a trans feminine non-binary cat and you're not happy with your voice, hit me up. But why should you seek out voice feminization training? That's what I want to talk about today. And the truth is, it's a completely subjective thing. There is no should here. I got into this field a couple years ago after having been encouraged to do so by a dear friend of mine, a speech therapist. And when I did decide to take the plunge, the most important thing in my mind was that I never wanted to make anybody feel bad about their voice. So with that in mind, I never tell anybody that they need voice feminization training, that they should have voice feminization training. If you're happy with your voice the way it is, that's all that matters. Personally, I can get my voice to sound really, really feminine, but you might notice it doesn't always stay there when I'm actually doing the videos. That's because in day-to-day life, I like my voice to be a little bit clocky. It doesn't always pass perfectly, but neither do I, and I don't really care. I don't care to pass as cis because, well, I'm not cis, so it doesn't matter. So again, if you're happy with your voice, that's all that matters. Nobody should make you feel like you have to or that you should pursue voice feminization training. But here are some of the more common reasons why girls frequently do. Number 1, to reduce gender dysphoria. This one's pretty obvious, right? There are 1,000 different reasons why anybody might feel gender dysphoria, and it's different from person to person. Sometimes it's about things we can't control. Personally, I sometimes feel dysphoric about the veins in my hands when I'm working out. There's nothing I can do about that, but that doesn't change the way I feel about it. You've got your own little things that bother you too, I'm sure. A big one for a lot of girls is their voice. Broadly speaking, voices that are read as more masculine resonate in your chest, and voices that are read as more feminine resonate in your face, this sort of area here. So you can feel the difference between a masculine and a feminine voice, even if you haven't really trained yourself to notice it. And that sensation on its own can trigger dysphoria. Voice feminization can help with that. Number 2, to improve your self-confidence. Let's be clear, I am not a speech therapist. No stolen valor here. But I do work with speech therapists. If you have a stutter, for example, you might be more reluctant to use your voice in day-to-day settings, in conversation. And that's a problem because people with stutters still have things that they want to say that are worthwhile to say. And as a result, speech therapists often focus just as much on overcoming that anxiety you might feel around using your voice as they do addressing the actual stuttering in the first place. Having gone through testosterone-driven puberty is not a speech disorder, but the same principle applies. If using your voice triggers dysphoria, you may be more reluctant to speak, and that can cause issues of self-confidence. And it's difficult enough for trans women to advocate for ourselves as it is, without having that extra layer of dysphoria stacked on top of having to use your voice. Voice feminization can help with that as well. Number 3, to feel safer. You know it. I know it. There's no need to retread the details here, but suffice it to say, we're not necessarily as safe as our cis comrades. And yeah, passing is a pretty problematic concept in general, and it's not something you ever attain 100% of the time. You're only ever one clocking incident away from shattering your entire self-image. You can pass in 999 situations and get clocked in one of them, and which one are you going to focus on? That said, trans visibility is important, but trans safety is also important. ACAB includes the gender police. Nobody should be out here telling you how you should and shouldn't be presenting. But if presenting more femininely helps you to feel more safe, then voice feminization training can help with that. So if you've been trying to figure it out on your own without any luck, try hitting up that weird girl on YouTube who won't stop making videos about eunuchs. I'm Sophie, and I'm a voice feminization coach. Hit me up via email. You'll find it in the description below. and let's set up an appointment. The first one is free, and after that I have a sliding scale. We can discuss that in the session. Give me a shout. I'm happy to help.